morning, everyone. Kicked off with a couple of birthdays. So Greenie, he turned 40 Saturday. There he is. Jesus, Greenie. Happy birthday, mate. Bush, 17 years today.
Is he 17?
Nah, 17 years service.
No, he's off Monday.
Oh, he's off? Oh, that's right. And welcome back, Benny Kim.
Yeah.
Good to have you back, mate. We'll jump straight across to Seb for the toolbox summary.
G'day. So we had a pretty quiet week last week. Not really a bad thing. Always good. Just had some reports of like people noticing sometimes minor vandalism on their equipment that we're about to switch on. So just go over that. Make sure we're taking in that extra element of risk and potential hazard. We've got copper thieves that are always out there on the lurk. So they're always either breaking locks or cutting central earthing systems or something like that. So just make sure we're doing a risk assessment hazard ID on that. And we've been getting a bit of reporting in about digital multimeter leads. So sometimes they can break down, they break them down pretty quick. So they expose obviously the conductive internal core, which can be another hazard to whoever's using them at the time. So just make sure we're checking our leads and reporting them to 8s or 6s wherever we can, and putting them through an Avalon so we can see if there's any trend or anything like that. And just on that, make sure we are double checking our switch gear, like our heads and attachments, make sure they're in operable condition. So apart from that, just keep switching safe, and yeah, that's it.
Thanks, Seb.
Oh, this will be just fine from series as well. So just safety excellence from Murray Bridge Depot. So they're up there upgrading the earthing and relocating the control box on a voltage regulator on the SWR. So before commencing the switching, the item was to carry out the live disconnection of the live line taps. The switching crew discussed the method on how they would complete this step. The crew then attempted to park the source side live line tap, and while they were doing this, identified that the VR's current construction was not suitable for switching to occur, as a tap over pin was not installed. The crews identified that because of they didn't have the tap around pin, they couldn't safely do it, so the switching was cancelled and a follow-up job was raised. So just a little note here from the ops supervisor of the depot. So it's a great display of work safety values by the crew to identify the construction hazard and prevent an incident from occurring. It goes to show how essential it is to have a good understanding of the device you're about to operate and the importance of stopping switching when something doesn't seem right. So excellent work for the guys to pick up there, and would have been a big safety risk with the live line tap flashing over potentially. So keep vigilant with bits and pieces out there, especially stuff we don't use very often.
Cheers, Nick. We've only got one near miss this week, so this one was put in by Ryan. So incorrect notification of customers. So as a late notice gap in the work plan, customers are required to be hand notified. Sometimes this happens, we cancel jobs, so to meet the minimum required lead times, we have to hand notify these guys. So someone had to manually fill out the notification cards, and Bruce had to go out and hand notify them. During this process, the cards were actually printed incorrectly with the wrong date. I believe they were September instead of August. So the customers were actually notified that they were going off in September instead of August. Leanne actually picked this one up the following day. We contacted customer communications. They notified the customers that the dates were incorrect and re-notified them the correct date. So that was a good pick up by Leanne, easily done. And that would have been a CNS breach if that job proceeded. So well done to Leanne picking that up. We've actually caught up about this, so any suggestions to stop this happening would be more thought around it. It was just an accident. It's easy done, but check system would be a little bit more careful, yeah. So well done again to Leanne. General Depot, so we've got the fire extinguisher inspections next RDO, so Friday this week, put out your fire extinguishers in front of your truck as always. That's including light vehicles as well, so maybe we can sit them somewhere out of all the light vehicles. We've got some positive recognition around the high level of hazard reporting. So the level of near miss and hazard reporting has been noticed by Michael Cornish, and he's the head of work, health and safety and environment. especially our switching incident averted reports, which come from you guys in the brief. So well done picking them up. We've actually caught up, we mentioned last week, and we're designing a process on our LVLSPs checking and writing to avert some of this. So Alison Bussey, well done to the DS team, Bobs and Cams, please pass on that it's not going unnoticed. And Richard Amato, so brilliant stuff boys, maintain the rage. So continue to pick us up where we make mistakes. They do happen from time and again. So across to Ryan, safety bullet on the lifting chains.
Oh, really? Get this
Bring it back, mate.
better experience for everyone that's not here.
Well, I'll pass this straight on. So this is safety bulletin on lifting chains. There was a safety excellence brought up late July for a crew that has picked up a defective lifting chain that didn't have the safety latch on it working, which raised some concern with the depots about what required a safety latch and what didn't. So this is to highlight that. In the bulletin it's getting passed around the 3 hooks. One where it's missing the safety latch on the hook completely. One where it's got a defective lock, the third little one at the back of the hook is seized, so it doesn't actually stop the hook from opening and closing. And there's another one on there that doesn't have a safety latch at all, and that one's designed as a choker only, not for lifting. Alright, so key points on them. So if there is a provision for a safety catch, one must be fitted. If you are unsure whether it should have one or not, remove it from service until you can verify it by a competent person. It does say here doggers and riggers are competent people, and if you're still unsure, I'm sure Mick's all over it, but we can get it escalated through Bullivants as well to confirm. Alright. Key points is if you're not sure, tag it out until you are. Cool.
Thanks mate. Completed work. So when attending a maintenance job and you realise it's been completed by others, please don't sign it off. It's best for the crew not to mark complete. Email the TSW6, contact the email, or contact the TSW6, probably easier to call them email. They will email Kim to update the order. This ensures the SAP data is correct, because if you guys sign it off, it actually says that we've completed it. We won't get paid for it either way. All it says is in 6 months' time, if a bond submits or something like that, we'll actually have to go back and get it non-compliant. So if you do come across a cross-arm or any sort of maintenance work that is complete, give your 6 a call. And I did miss, sorry, Cam's note about the LVLSP switching. So I'll read it. As a result of an increase in LVLSP switching items being missed in approved LVLSPs, all involved in this process had a meeting last week. We identified things that we do well and we need to, we identified things we did well and areas we need to improve. We are now in the process of developing a switching writing checklist and consistency standard, which I think Rencie's heading that one up. Cam, thanks to everyone for their vigilance in both briefings and on site finding and rectifying these issues, therefore reporting an incident. Keep up the high level of reporting, and this is how we identify trends to fix the problem. So, key factor from reporting these has made us look at our internal procedures, and we're trying to get that right. That's all I have. You guys have anything you want to talk about?
Just one quick thing. Shout out to Reese, Matt and Liam. I'm sure everyone's heard. They come across the car hit pole last week. Had to break a window to get access to a young girl and support her head while she was unconscious until an ambulance arrived. So there's going to be something come out officially, as in the way of a safety excellence on that, but just shows the first aid training that we get, how naturally it kicked into gear, and the guys helped this girl out quite a lot. So well done, guys.
I'll probably just chuck a footy tip if anyone wants for the showdown this weekend. Just, I don't know, $5 in and winner take all, the team and the margin. So, chuck it up here on the... What's that?
Just take the money off the port fans, isn't it?
So you're going to chuck $5 in and see?
So we'll set a box up.
That comes in next week.
We'll set a box up out here like we did for the rugby or something like that. So if you want to be in it, bit of fun.
They can't abuse still in there, so.
Cheers lads. Have a safe week.